Hi there, it's Tanya J. Maven, life and mindset coach, and I wanted to share something with you today that's not typically my usual message. Today, I am sharing with you that I'm actually experiencing being triggered, and I'm experiencing feeling like I'm a bit angry and a bit pissed off, or at least that's how I was feeling. And so I wanted to share with you that this is going on and how I'm choosing to deal with it. So first off, life isn't all roses and, sunshine and unicorns all of the time. Even when you practice having a mindful mindset, when you try to revamp your mindset, and which we will talk more about in my upcoming program. But for right now, I want to share with you that even though you're making these practices, there are going to be times where you're going to be triggered, just like I am now, or like how I'm experiencing this afternoon. So something happened and I was triggered with it. And I even posted something on Facebook about it, which typically I really don't do that much of my events on Facebook. And then after that, I decided, this is not feeling good, right? So what do I want to do about it? Could I come to a peaceful mindset? Not yet. Needed to experience what I was experiencing. So what I did is I gave myself that permission. And that's a little bit of the energy I still am in right now, to be honest. But what I did do is I called my friend and prefaced our conversation by saying, just so you know, I am triggered right now and I could kind of use a vent session. So if you're not up for that at this moment, I totally understand, and just say the word. And I truly and full-heartedly meant that. Luckily for me, she was willing to be my shoulder for me to vent on. And I highly recommend that if you are going to vent to someone, preface it so they have the option to not necessarily need to be in that space, because we don't know what they're going through on their end at that moment. So nonetheless, had probably about a good 15-minute complaining session with her. And I can't say that we got to any real solution, but I did feel heard and I did feel validated in the moment. And I feel like that's sometimes important too, is that we want to be heard. And so thankfully, my friend did provide that for me. So thank you, friend. And then I got off the phone with her and kind of was just still stewing in that energy. When you talk about it, you don't necessarily feel better or it hasn't gone away yet. But yeah, so that was me. And then I sat in that for a little bit longer. And honestly, like I said, I just gave myself that permission. This is what I'm feeling right now. And these are some of the reasons I knew why. But I just let myself sit in that energy. And nonetheless, I, as always, decide, how do I want to respond in this situation? And so now I felt like I had already been in this energy for about an hour, and I felt like, okay, it's time to move on. And I could feel inside myself that I was okay with moving forward. But how do you move forward where you're in the middle of that type of intense energy, right? And so for me, what I decided to do was I decided to dance. I turned on the music. I blasted the music out loud. My boys were not home, so that was just me in the kitchen, and I was blaring the music, and it was uplifting music, and I danced and I moved. And that is something that movement can be so very helpful when you are in this state of being triggered. And so I wanted to share that with you, that once I started literally a couple of songs in, I started feeling better. And in a way, I use that angry energy as my fuel. So what I mean by that is I almost use it as a way of resentment. It's like, you're not going to get the best of me. You're not going to get my best energy. I'm not going to have this angry energy and get sick, have my immune system be lowered, because ultimately what I want is to be healthy and happy and live my best life. So for a moment, I'm going to allow myself to experience all those emotions, but now I'm going to use that emotions to fuel the flame of basically getting back to being neutral. So I danced, and I know that sounds funny, but for you, maybe it's working out. For you, maybe it's like punching your pillow. Maybe for you, it's like going for a run or going for a walk. And that's the other thing is right now, while we are so like shut down, it's so important to move because that's how our body gets to process everything that's going on. And so I wanted to share that with you. One other thing is that I remember one time hearing or seeing this post from a naturopath, acupuncturist actually, and she was talking about how our body goes into these fight, flight, or freeze responses, right? Fear responses. And so when we are triggered, like there's different things coming up all the time right now and what have you. If you feel angry or if you feel upset, that's your fight response, right? So when you feel that way, a way to counteract it and balance that is that you can fight it out. So go to a kickboxing class, punch your pillow, go for a run, have some movement and just feel how that feels. If you want to do like angry dancing or, happy dancing or whatever, just really move your body, and that will counteract the experience of feeling when you're feeling angry, upset, and a feisty, you want to fight kind of thing. So that's one. When you're feeling like, what is the other one? Fight, flight. Actually, flight is the one where she suggests go for a run. That's the one where you go for a run, like really just get your body moving, right? And then for freeze is where we just like freeze up, right? And that fight, that response is where we're being asked to be still. So the counter side to it, that is maybe where you do some journaling, maybe where you have a bath, maybe where you meditate, maybe you listen to an audiobook or a podcast that brings you back to being more neutral. So hopefully this helps you. I wanted to give you some of those tips because I was kind of laughing to myself as I was experiencing this trigger, because I was starting to notice that I wanted to shift it, but I couldn't shift it just yet. And then when I did shift it, it was more from this place of, screw you, I'm doing this anyways. I'm feeling my best anyways, no matter what's going on, right? And so, so I was kind of laughing a little bit at that, but I was able to shift it. When I started to dance and to move, I was able to shift it. So in seeing that, touching really quickly on the 5-week group coaching, Reset Your Mindset program is coming up. Early bird session ends, or the pricing ends along with the bonus on January 4th. I would love to have you there. If you're interested, please let me know. There I can add a link as well for you to sign up. And if you have any questions, you want to discuss this a little bit more, please feel free to reach out, as I do have a 20-minute free call that we can set up, and you can ask all your questions, see if this is the right fit for you, and go from there. But nonetheless, hope this information was valuable. Just so you know, it's not always roses. Even when you're trying to be your most mindful, best self, you will get triggered, and that's okay. It's how we deal with those triggers that matters the most. All right. Okay. So talk to you soon. Take care and have a good day. Bye. Well, let me turn this off.